All right, let's go. Mob Rule. Mob Rule. That's a great album, man. Ronnie James Dio aced that album. I love that album. All right, we're here to talk Dolphins draft. I'm still gassed. The old man has to get some higher octane Geritol. So I got my guys in here. I got Joe to the right. I got Mrs. Success, Cody, bottom right, and then Dirk the Daring, the young man who's just jubilant after an easy peasy day. He's ready to rock and roll too. How you guys all doing? Thank you for showing up and chilling out and talking some Dolphins. I'm going to say from my standpoint, I want to be honest with you guys. I think there's positives. I think there's things that we have question marks and some things are concerned, but overall, I think it's a positive direction. That doesn't mean anything. You know, this could become an amazing draft in a couple of years. It can be an okay draft. We don't know. Time will tell. And how the rest of the teams in division, how they drafted is going to play out too. So we can only focus on what we know and where we're at overall. As a couple of guys I'm excited about. I like that. So what say you, my three amigos and me? Anyone want to jump in it?
How about Joe go first?
Right.
Okay. It was some of the picks were a surprise at first, but in the end, I'm good with it. You know, the picking of big guys, the athleticism, the just going for talent and let our coaching staff do their job and fix anything they need technique wise. I like the picks from that perspective. Just get the meat in here and
meat.
Them how to, you know. So, and we'll find some diamonds as undrafted free agents and fill some holes this year. I mean, we weren't going to fix everything in the draft. So, what we did based on the timing and how the draft fell, it is what it is, and I'm good with it.
Yeah, I don't know how you really can't. I mean, we all been begging for a quarterback to get drafted. We've all been begging for trench play. At least from that standpoint, we should be happy. The application, that's going to take some time, but it's, a positive step, going forward, I think. So, I mean, from that point, I'm happy.
Yeah, I had actually had Ewers going in the fourth round. So, I mean, and I wasn't the only one. So, I was pretty surprised that he was there in the seventh, and I was even more surprised that we took him. I don't hate Tua. I don't love Tua. I think that's a good guy to grab in the draft. I thought it was a good pick. The fact that we added 1,100 pounds of offense and defensive line in this draft in the first three picks, I'm ecstatic about that.
It was that much, man. 1,100 pounds.
1,078 or something like that is what it said.
Sweet. I like that. I like that.
I mean, that's excellent. We've been pining and crying and whining for years about adding young, good talent to our defensive line and our offensive line. And I feel like this year was one of the first years in memory that we made an extroverted effort at it.
Yeah.
I'm really encouraged with the Jordan Phillips pick too. I'm very excited about that, and I don't know. I'm trying not to let myself get too excited because it is technically a fifth round pick. But man, I got good feelings about that. Obviously, the first two picks I'm happy about, and I'm real stoked about this Ollie Gordon guy. I didn't really do much research on him until we picked him. And I went and did a lot of looking, and holy cow, this kid blocks like a pissed off teenager at the running back position, and he runs the same. So I'm excited. I'm very happy with the draft. I'm not in the ballpark of mainstream sports media like Fox and NBC and CBS and ESPN all saying it's a D-rated draft. I disagree 100% on that.
Well, Mel Kiper rated it A+, so.
Yeah, I would give it around a B+, A- maybe, depending on how this pans out. I'm excited. What about Mr. Success?
All right, before you get into it, Michael Pierce, the Ravens, was an undrafted free agent. So, these guys that are not the star type players. They're that nose tackle, big kind of guy. They have a tendency to fall unless they're extremely special. And the God is Will Forks. So you can really find talent. I mean, I didn't know he was an undrafted free agent until just now. So 5th round, I mean, there's definitely potential, and I'm very excited with him too. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a great draft. Like, I don't really know how good it's going to be, but it doesn't seem like a usual Greer draft. Something's changed. Whether I told you Greer was going to have that ayahuasca trip and start seeing things different, or maybe Mike has more input. Maybe Mike got to pick the offensive. Who knows what happened? I have no clue. But it was a different draft, and they addressed the needs that we all thought they should have done last year. Like, I was really in on this regime until last year. Really lost me when I was like, man, we didn't add a physical tight end. We didn't add any interior play. Like, we're going in the same way. So I don't know if somebody got a different amount of power in the draft picks. Who knows? But it's a different draft. It's what we've all been asking for, man. Like,
I agree.
And I'm narrative based because I'm just kind of a romantic like that. We got a Samoan on the offensive line. Like, you walk out of the draft with a Samoan on your offensive or defensive line, a high pick. Tell me one that's busted. You know, those guys are just. And the kid runs under a 5 on the 40. Yeah. Like, both of those 2 top picks are athletes, big athletes. So I'm excited, man. We added a lot of guys we needed. Like, I didn't know who Ollie Gordon was, but watching this film, it's like, yep, there's our Madison. You can watch Ollie Gordon do it. Probably. We don't need assistance this year on short downs, but I don't know. I like the draft. There's a lot of players I don't know, but overall, I like the philosophy of the draft.
Well, we'll try to dig into him on this channel tonight. Yuki making bologna. What's going on, brother? Bologna, man. Is that a bologna sandwich? You making a bologna sandwich? This year, Greer didn't get high. No. Well, we'll see, but
maybe he did. Maybe
he did.
You know.
Hey, the Big Lebowski. Hey, you know that I just saw the craziest thing, and was it Jeff Bridges who started it? He was the dude. Do you know I can't remember the guy's name, but he's John Goodman's character is not. I think it was John Goodman's character is not supposed to have actually existed. It was a figment. It was like a pretend character. And if you go type in Jeff Bridges and his theory on it, it's really weird. There's a missing scene. So if you're a fan of the Big Lebowski, it's a totally mind-blowing theory on it from actually the main actor. Dude is right. High five, guys. I structure all my mock drafts around Grant and 7S, so extremely pleased. Scratching my head on a DBS pick. No, I'm not too high on those either. The dude is right. The dude. Yeah. I tried to get my wife to watch that. She wasn't into it. I tried.
I got the movie poster hanging on my wall back here.
Oh, you got it? Yeah, I watched
it. That bowling pin.
Oh, that's cool. So then yeah, go check that. I was reading it today. The theory that because one of the other guys had the other guy, what's his name, the squirrely guy. I haven't seen it in about 15 years, but now I'm going to go watch it again. Try to watch it with my wife a couple months ago. But the squirrely guy had like PTSD, so the whole thing was to make him feel. Go check it out. It's a really weird concept, man.
Look at it.
It's an enjoyable movie. I like that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I watched it for a class I was in about filmmaking. I was like, oh, this is a great movie. Never got a chance to watch again. Tried with my wife. And no bueno. Anyway, back to the Dolphins. I would say it's a B. I would say it's a B draft. Philosophy is A plus. I'd say it's A minus because I don't know about the trades. We'll see what happens with the trades. But there's a potential for it to be much higher depending on how things play out. So obviously, Grant, I'm sure everyone's beating that thing to death, but let's kind of go over it quickly. For me, the kid is going to be a good player. Great player. We'll see. He needs to get stronger, but he's 21 years old. He's got the unteachable with movement skills. He's on the field all day long. He's not a big guy who's going to get gas, so you're going to be able to get maximum snaps from him. He's a good kid, so I just don't see a problem with it. I guess your guy Nolan and Harmon and Tyleik Williams. We'll see how he pans out in that pecking order. But the bottom line is we screwed the Bills over. They wanted a D tackle. We set the trend early, and it kind of forced the Bills to miss out on a guy and then maybe overdraft in the next round. So from that standpoint, it was a really good pick in my eyes. Let's see how the kid develops. I think it's going to take some time. Wilkins took 2 years, but I thought this was a good pick. What about you? What say you?
I was surprised at the pick, but I'm good. I like the fact that he has the intangibles. I mean, that's what we have coaching staff for, is to teach him everything he needs to know and just get that sheer talent and let him go. That's what we've been needing for years, is just to get talent and ability in here and let coaches coach instead of buying players. So we're digging ourselves out of a hole. We dug ourselves into a huge hole. And last year we were just scrambling, trying to not fall into the hole on the last draft. So we're still on recovery mode. So I'm good with it, and just keep drafting talent. And I think he has the talent. I mean,
I don't think it's any. I don't see how you can even. It's not deniable. It just almost, it would be ridiculous to deny the kid's got talent. What's his ceiling? That's his floor is very high. That's what I think. I think it's an interesting player because his floor is very high and his ceiling is very high. At the very least, that high floor is going to give you a solid, good player. You just don't get guys that big that can move like that. So for me, he's the safest pick. And it's a solid pick, and it has little those things screwing over your division opponents. So I don't know. Angel, hey, Curtis and gang, I like the direction, being physical in the trenches, but keep in mind it's the same cook picking the ingredients. We'll wait and see. Yeah, you got to wait and see. I mean, I think Grant's obviously the safest one, but the rest of the draft we have to see. Anyway, Dirk, man, rock and roll.
Well, like I said, one of the most impressive things about him is, and I beat this to death with a stick on my channel, is I'm all about that attitude and mindset with everybody. And he's got that. He's got the proper attitude off the field. And then when he gets on the field, he's as a switch. He goes from the most respectful, nicest, most courteous, kind, and understanding person on the planet to a straight up, for lack of a better word, a bastard.
That's good.
And that's what we want. And I say we need proper mindset, proper attitude to promote a proper identity with the team. Adding these players, I feel like, and not just him, but all the ones down the line that we're going to talk about, we don't know how they're going to play, but we know what their attitude and mindset is.
They're not the nice, congenial guys that Greer's like to draft in the past.
These guys are mouth punchers. And I'm super excited to see what this does, not only for them, benefiting them in this season coming up, but for the team as a whole. You have a bunch of guys that are going to punch somebody in the mouth. Sometimes that rubs off on other players.
Oh yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm real excited about that. And that's kind of what I'm hanging my hat on with this draft is I don't know how they're going to perform. I don't. None of us do. Who have ideas, but I can tell you that the mindset and attitude with these players that we've added on this team, it's going in the right direction.
I agree. Alexander Curry, it's a good note, but it was a good, not great draft when the fan base as imagine screwed us up. Yeah, we got a long history of that. It's sad. Just like if you go look, there were some phenomenal drafts this draft or an appearance. This was a reasonable, intelligent direction, solid. But for us, that's like. Shooting at the moon. That's so true. I'll second Cody before you rock in there. John, 1 and 2 is so overdrafted. They have work and they are good players. So it goes the food chain. I like Phillips and Gordon as right away plugins. We really lack depth last year. Yeah, I would say that Grant wasn't overdrafted. I think the reason you might have said that when you watched all the mocks, But you saw right away with Cardinals, they would have grabbed him or another one and set the same chain of events. So I think the D tackles, all of them were in demand because Detroit wanted to draft one, Bills wanted to draft one in the first round. So even if you had said, oh, okay, we went some other direction, 3 slots later, the Cardinals would have started and the same guys, except the Bills would have picked one up as well at 30. So I wouldn't say Grant's overdrafted. I do think I finally figured out how to pronounce his name. Savannah, right?
Savannah.
That's what I said, right? So close. Close enough. Close enough.
So, but you said Savannah was overdrafted.
I think so, yeah.
What would you do if I could show you? I can email it to you later, but there's a report from all the teams on what they were thinking, what they were wanting to do throughout the draft. It's a really good read. It takes them a while to get through it, but
the Patriots wanted him.
The Patriots wanted him. The Eagles wanted him. The Chiefs wanted him. There was a bunch of teams that were going to take Savannah if we didn't take him then. And a lot of people are saying, well, no one else took an offensive lineman, from 20, whatever we were to 37 or 37 to 49. But there's teams in there that were going to take him.
Oh, yeah. But I think for the teams that when you trade up, though, and you tack on extra ammo, right, it's not even so much the slotting. It's the ammo you spent. And so we pulled ourselves out of the 3rd and then eventually the 4th round.
Yeah.
And so we combined all the possibilities of those rounds and with some darn good players taken, possibly. And so that's why I would say he was overdrafted for us,
Yeah.
If you grabbed him just with your natural pick, I would be less inclined to say that. But that was a big move for us, big move. But if he comes out to be a Pro Bowl player, then it's totally worth it. Cody, man, you got your thing, man. Jump in there on Grant. That was your guy. I'm sorry. I should have gave you the first shot.
No, that's all right. I wanted Grant because Wilkins, his pass rush game seemed like that's what exploded in his last 2 years with us, is him getting to the inside pressure and getting to the quarterback, getting sacks because he had big numbers. So did Sealer. So I feel like Grant's ahead of him as a pass rusher. He's already where Christian left off with us. So I think the sky's the limit for the kid. He's a wrecker, and I love his attitude. And we just needed a new direction. We can't go out and buy this kind of attitude and toughness. These are homegrown kids. You draft them. They're willing to give everything they have to this franchise. When a guy you try to buy to come work for us, basically, it doesn't translate the same on the field sometimes. So the coherency of this draft, the coherency of the offensive line right now, we talk about what's Robert Jones doing out there. The guy doesn't even run the outside zone very well. We have a coherent outside zone with some size, but we really have a coherent offensive line right now. I'm scared of the depth, but I love Grant. I love the big boys, and who the hell knows if you would have lost out and then you're stuck with some kid that you didn't really fully love. I think they loved the guys they got, and they did a lot of work on them, and I think they're going to play well.
Yeah, well, I mean, as it said here, Big Stick, it doesn't matter. He was the last top-tier lineman. I would say Rutledge was also one as well. I mean, but he didn't fit us at all. After that would have been a big drop-off. If that's your guy, you go get him. Yeah, you have to, but you've put yourself in a situation where you have to go, and you had to use that ammo. And I guess it's not bad if you're not thinking that this is an important season. This is a season where you have to win. So Greer is not in a must-win season. So this is a rebuild. Yep. So in a rebuild, it's much more palatable. That's kind of sucks that in his 10th year, he's on his fourth rebuild. So yeah, but he better pan out now. And we don't know. Yeah. We don't know. We really don't know if what the Patriots are putting out was true. There's teams that understand that somebody needs that player, and they put that out there. It's all lies and deception. Maybe they really did want him. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. All that really matters is that we got him, and now he better be the guy. He better be a solid a B+ guy at least. Still not sure. Going to convert to third and short.
We got options.
We got a lot more options now.
Our new running back.
I think
tight end. We got a great tight end for sure.
Farrell Brown, I think, makes a big deal.
I mean, nobody can argue we have a better line now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't think better than Eichenberg. Not even starting Ike. It's not starting Eichenberg. It's probably worth the 3rd round pick.
Did you look at the comparison between Eichenberg's lower body and Savianea's lower body?
Ooh,
one of Savianea's legs is bigger than both of Liam Eichenberg's legs.
Oh yeah,
Liam Eichenberg looks like the evil doctor off of Sonic the Hedgehog. He's got like tiny little legs. Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely at the, I don't think there's any way he could possibly end up as bad as like Eichenberg was just a disaster draft. It's so fun. I've been saying that for the longest time. You go watch Eichenberg and his pants has slack in it around the glutes.
Yes.
That's not a good sign for a football player.
Nope.
It's not a good sign. I can't say the way the media is narrating that we gave up the farm to move up for S on the JJ draft. Yeah, it's first off the Jimmy Johnson draft. That point system. It's just a system that they made up. What does it really mean? If this kid turns out to be Pro Bowl, he's got to be a Pro Bowl player at some point. He's got to play at a very high level. If that's the case, you mitigated with a trade back later on to pick up a 3rd next year. All's good, but if the kid's like above average, then there's a problem. He's got to be more than just a pass protector. And so it doesn't really matter. This kid turns out to be a stud. Paul turns out to be a stud. Then you've got the left side solved and there's no problems, but it's got to hit. It can't be, I'm sorry, Eichenberg type hit, or I'm sorry, Austin Jackson hit, where the media runs wagons around their performance and tries to hype it up and people don't see the reality. He's got to be a legitimate answer on that offensive line. And he's got a prototypical size. He's got speed that you can't teach. He's got versatility. It's the strength part. That's the only thing that you got to look out for. That's it, is power, and can he handle it? And if he can, there's some concerns. I'll get into that when we get into him, but he's got most of the stuff. There's just one thing he needs to solve. NFL cycle has gone back to physical interior plays, Eagle and Chiefs run inside. So now everyone is trying to catch up. All I want is finally be able to correct. Yeah. I've been talking about that for a little while. Crazy Curtis talked about that for a little while. Eichenberg will be starting week 6. Yeah, with Austin Jackson. Oh God, I don't do that to me, Armando. Don't do that to me. I'd be happy if I never heard the name. Oh no, I know it's crazy. I actually, I'm doing another cartoon. And it's going to star Eichenberg, so that's going to be pretty fun.
Yes.
It was either go get your guy or start Eichenberg. Sadly, there's other teams that are probably going to find guys in the 3rd and the 4th round and maybe the 5th round, and they're going to be starters. So it depends on that. Maybe not. There's drafts where there's no offensive line that really beyond the 1st or 2nd round that come and play. So we'll see. But it takes time. We got it because remember last year they were mocking Pooney. He was taken in the 3rd round, and a lot of the knocks on Savinea was the same knocks on Pooney, and Pooney was a stud last year. So all this stuff is just projections, evaluations, and smoke and mirrors, and we won't know until we start seeing these guys play. This could be if the kid's an all-pro player. I mean, just imagine what that would mean. Just scheme imagine.
100% scheme fit.
Yeah, we're losing. We're losing Ramsey. Yeah, well then he's gone. And he talked. They were talking today. I think it was Armando Seguero or Poupart was saying that it's not professional. That's pretty brutal.
Well, if he stays here, I don't want that. I don't want that train wreck.
Him and people can go.
And I know we didn't. People are. There's a lot of complaints about the cornerback safety situation, and I totally get it. Like I'm one of those people. I'm worried about it, but there's already things happening. I mean, we got rumors already that the Dolphins are in talks with Rasul Douglas. And so they're already working on things. And honestly, I don't think they would have dipped completely on cornerback and safety like they kind of did, unless they had something up their sleeve.
Yeah, they've got to.
Yeah, so, and I still see Julian Blackmon from the Colts sitting there at safety, waiting for a home this year. Massive scheme fit.
And to be truthful, with all this front talent that you got, it's going to alleviate a lot of the pressure of the secondary. You know,
Get the quarterback.
Doom and gloom. Imagine Kenneth Grant being accused of being bored at times and still destroying for us. Yeah, right. How did Paul play? He's going to be a guy for us. It was hard. He should have been playing. He should have been redshirted. He had some moments. The key thing for me, he had a lot of mistakes, but the key thing for me was he was able to handle power. He was able to have poor technique and still hold his ground. And if you can handle power and you can give power, that there's a lot of leeway. And so he's got a lot of leeway. He dropped 10 pounds. So we'll see. You should expect to step forward. I think we're going to miss Tehran a ton. People still don't understand what Tehran did for us. I tried my best, but people still don't get that what he offered, and it's not going to be there. And so they're going to have to split that Tehran being the guy blocks alone and taking all that. It's going to have to get split around. And I don't know how it's going to look. It's going to be very, very different. But with Daniels, and the big thing, I'll get into 7A next, and I'll go into 7A now. They are rebuilding. If we win 7, 8, or 9 games, everybody's back, probably. So 7A, I'm still probably working on his name. The number one thing that I've been talking about, and I had a lot of people say, no. It's called true pass set blocking. That means that you can have your 5 guys block. Maybe you get a chip and go from the tight end, but you don't have to rely on scheme, play actions, extra help to keep guys in. True pass set allows you to stress a secondary because you put as many guys as possible into that secondary as a receivers, and then you have more options and stresses things. But we couldn't do that. 7A had an 88 out of 100 true pass set grade at tackle. Moving him inside makes the pass blocking easier in some ways. There's one part, I'll get into it after the guys talk. But this kid, he played left tackle and right tackle, half and half through one season. He's played right guard. The kid can move unbelievably. Watch him get on the move. It's not like where Eichenberg slowed down the line and bounces off the guy at the end when he's supposed to block him. This kid has all the skill sets for this scheme. Is this scheme right? And then when he gets into side guard, there is some problems there. I'll get into that in a second. But overall, the true pass set blocking, Daniels can do it. Brewer can do it for a decent amount of time. He can do it. Jackson can't. We'll see about Paul. But if you got your interior 3 able to true pass set, that means Tua might not have to throw 2-0-4. He might be able to get to 2-1-5 or 2-2. And that's going to help us out a ton, especially, you put more guys into routes. So I like the kid. I think there's a lot, to look up to, but he's got to be more than Keith Sims, who's just a really good pass blocker. He needs to be more than that, but it's going to probably take time. And so that would be my 2 cents. The rest of you guys.
Well, situationally, like we talked about, I mean, there was a huge drop off after him, and we had to do something. So just from a situational perspective, I like him as our selection. And I do like he has a little bit of passion for his quarterback there. Make sure his quarterback stays safe. And I like that, just the passion that he has just on that front, and the talent. Like we've seen our coaching staff get people off the street and make an offensive line happen. So if we can get some real talent in there and coach them and in the mix, get somebody that can stay healthy all season, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic.
Good. Got to be. We should be at this time of the year. It's different. Usually we're not ecstatic.
Yeah, we fortified one of the weakest spots on our team. Maybe not completely fortified, but man, we're started from the bottom. We were in the mud last year with that interior for the last few years, but without Connor and Hunt. Everybody else has just been poo-poo. And I always say, man, Tua needs an interior. Just give him an interior. Give him a run game and an interior. They might be able to do it. They might be able to do it this year. So I'm excited.
They better. They've got to this year. There's no excuses.
Yeah.
What about? We can't hear you, Dirk.
How's that?
There you go, brother.
What Curtis said about how Savannah has changed positions and did it in one season, and that's the most incredible thing to me. And yeah, he going from tackle to guard, that's difficult. It's not easy. But the harder thing even than that is going from left tackle to right tackle. You get your body trained in one direction, and then all of a sudden the next game you're playing the other side of the line. That is not easy to do. And he can do it. So knowing that he can do that, we have another player that can be a successful swing if we need a swing instead of a fall flat in your face swing.
That's like right. He can fill in for Jackson when he goes down.
Yeah. I'm very impressed with what we've done to bolster our line, defense and offense. And I can't even pretend that I would have wanted it any other way from those first two picks with the results that we have, provided, they don't flop immensely. So
yeah. We got to wait and see. This is great doom and gloom. Eichenberg is a versatile offensive lineman. He can fall either on his face or back. I like that one. Yes. Hey, Hammer, man. What's going on? Hey, bro, I just gave you a shout out on Twitter. I appreciate it. I got to start doing a Twitter thing. The Twitter thing, though, is really depressing. I got to do it for the job and all. But I appreciate that. Yeah, I got to get in there and start doing it again. But I appreciate that, Ham. You're the man. I do. I still remember you back in 2021. I think you're one of my oldest, man. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Okay, so
what about our depth? What about the depth on the offensive line? Like, we're really happy about our starting five right now, but
there isn't much.
Exactly. We have to get a vet in here for me to start feeling, a little bit more comfortable about it.
Yeah. Depth is huge, but we don't really have any. And I don't think it's going to be hard for them to get some. My guy, the guy I'm most excited about, not because I think he's going to be the best player or anything, but it was a real surprise for me, is Jordan Phillips.
Yes.
He wasn't on my radar. But I used to be, I played football, but then after I left, I started to get into powerlifting and bodybuilding. That was my thing. And I love powerlifting. And when I saw his numbers and so when you see bench is really the bench strength rep people sometimes, like Eichenberg benched like 30, I think. He benched really high. 33. But you have to understand that is not a legitimate sign of the totality of the player. And it really doesn't indicate. I mean, if you see a low one, that's a concern, but a high one is not. It's more about the low than a high. So what he had, which was totally insane, is standing press of 365. And to understand what that means is that the world record is 476. So at 20 years old, he's 100 pounds off the world record. And when you have to do a standing press, that's your whole core, everything from your feet to your calves, to your knees, to your glutes, your thighs, your core, your back, your shoulders. Everything has to be powerful in order to press above your head. And 365 at 20 years old that is just a genetic gift. That is not normal. And he squats over 600. I think he did 30 for the 225. But the bench can be kind of like mimicked. You can get a technique where you kind of cheat a little bit. It's not necessarily indicative of what your real strength is, but there is no cheat for the overhead press. That is the true power man lift. That's the sign of a true powerful body. At 20 years old, 365, if that's legit, and I saw it on a few legit sites, that is so mind-blowing how powerful this kid is. And to be 6'2", 315 or 318, gives him a leverage advantage. Most guards nowadays are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". And so he's going to get actually more powerful. I mean, this kid could actually get stronger. He should, if he continues to work out. I don't know if he's going to be doing powerlifting because of football, but I'm sure to a certain degree, but I don't know how much he'll be pushing his boundaries. But this kid can be a true Rock of Gibraltar. And depending on what we're looking at, he could tack on another 20 pounds and he could barely feel it just to be more rooted. So this kid is a very intriguing prospect. Yeah, and I really am excited about him. And it offers a potential for 3 guys, clearly, that could be starters. The rest of this draft, I think they could definitely be role players, maybe some more than others. But this kid has potential to be like a 60% snap kind of guy in time, or maybe more. So that's a potentiality of 3 starters. So I'm very high on him. So anyone else as high as me on him? Or am I high?
No, you're not high. I don't know if you are or not technically, but I mean, you're not free. You're not wrong. It's impressive.
Oh wait, here, look at us, Anthony Manzo. Yes. I said Journal was 6'5". He's 6'2" with a 6'5" wingspan. That's great.
Oh yeah,
that's great. I didn't know that. Thanks, brother. Guys, keep going. Dark.
I just what you're talking about with the standing press. That's not an easy lift, and I mean, I'll get worn out doing sets of that, and I don't do anything near that weight. You know,
what's your max?
I haven't maxed in it since like college, but I'm doing 200. That's 200 good. Standing press, but that's pyramid sets. And weight changes too. So, but I'm just saying the balance that's required to do that lift with lightweight.
Yeah.
And then imagining 365 pounds, that is unreal to me. Just seeing that stat and seeing some of his other lifts, what is it, like a 660 something max squat?
Yeah.
That's 3 reps. That's unreal.
Yeah. That's genetically gifted. That's highly genetic. Oh, I'm sorry. Anthony Manzano was talking about Jonah the guard. So he's got, what was it again? So what was the thing? I said Jonah was 6'5", or is he 6'2" with a 6'5" wingspan? Who's that? Are you talking about? You're talking about Savanea? I'm sorry. I don't know. My brain. I'm sorry. Help me out over here. My brain's a little fried.
I think Phillips is our 6'2" guy.
Yeah, Phillips is the one that's built like an ape. He's got super long arms.
Oh, he's talking about Jonah. He's talking about Jonah. Yeah, he's got a small wingspan. His arms were pretty. Yeah. Jordan Phillips. Yeah, I don't know what his wingspan is. He might have his narrow shoulders or something, but he didn't look that way. He looked like I gotta go check that. I'll check into that.
Did you see this comment by Big Lebowski here?
No.
Saw that Grant did a Turkish get-up with a 150-pound dumbbell. That's ridiculous.
You know who else I watched do that with the exact same weight? Haloti Nada. And if you think about that's not arm strength, leg, that is your entire core of who you are to do a Turkish get up. And a 20-year-old, I guarantee you, he doesn't spend his time Olympic lifting. He lifts to get strong. And I bet that was an ugly press on brute strength. Like, I would like to see it because there's a real technique to it as well, but when you're 20 and you're just throwing that kind of weight up, man, he's the guy that like you said, he can get fatter. Like, you have the strength. You're not going to get any faster in this league. Like, lean into what you are. And that's a nose that people can't move. I'm a 5th round pick. That's pretty exciting, man. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Anthony. Yeah, so you're saying that 7'8" has got a 6'5" wingspan. He's like, I think he's 6'3", actually. Isn't he like 6'3"?
Not sure.
Tall. He's got a long wingspan. I gotta go check it out. I'm sorry, my brain's a little fried tonight.
Another YouTuber that I was watching that's called Ryder McConville. He does a whole bunch of breakdowns. And he was calling Jordan Phillips the our value pick of the whole draft. of everybody there talking value, we got a lot of value with that guy, as a
I
fit.
agree.
Just unbelievable. So that's kind of almost makes up for giving up the other pick when you get somebody that good, dropped all the way down.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
that's a thing is we got to wait to see his plays. I mean, if the kid, is just strong and he doesn't play well on the NFL level, but if he does, I think I said he had like the Van Ginkel type possible value to it. He has that feel like he could be a guy that really blossoms for us in the 5th round.
Somebody that's making a rotational difference in the game that you got on the 5th round in the first year. I mean, that's good.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
On goal line, get that guy on goal line right now.
Look at Cam Smith, hadn't played for 2 years, 2nd round pick. I mean, you get somebody in the 5th that's rotating in. Yeah.
I'm very high on that guy. I mean, I'm very excited. Imagine Grant. Yeah, that seal is going to help him out a ton.
Yeah.
That pays huge dividends. Angel, word on the social media is that Dolphins had talks with Eagles cornerback Bradbury, interested in the pickup if it works out. That would help us out a ton.
If we pressure that quarterback, old man Bradbury can cover just long enough for us,
Yeah.
Jordan Phillips was mauling dudes in the AFC East. Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, and here's another one, Anthony. He reminds his comparison is Tim Bowens. I totally agree. Tim was a little bit stronger. He had a country boy strength. But Kenneth Grant's not weak. But you'll see. I mean, but he's got the same look to him. He's got that same vibe. And Tim Bowens was a stud. I still remember. Tim Bowens actually lost 2 toes to a lawnmower accident before he became a pro. Yeah, he only had like 8 or 9 toes or something like that.
You wouldn't know.
No.
And with what he said just now about the pass rushing for Kenneth Grant, the way Weaver likes to create mashups on the defensive front, Kenneth Grant's going to get some sacks. He's going to do much better in the pass rush and the sack category with Weaver as his coach in this offense or this defense, because he likes to create single matchups in the interior defensive line, and that's going to be perfect for Kenneth Grant.
I'm thinking about when Phillips and Chubb finally get themselves in there, and you add all that. There's a lot of talent on this front, man. It's going to be very, very potent. Biggers, we'll get to Biggers. Alf loves Biggers. He's one of the wings, man.
Love it.
Well, I know, great name.
It's awesome.
Wow.
We wanted to get bigger in this draft, So,
Ace, I said this when we drafted Kenneth. The reason why Mason Graham was drafted before Grant was because Mason is a safer pick because he's more pro ready. Yeah, I agree on that. I totally agree on that. So, Cody, what do you think about Phillips?
About Jordan Phillips? Yep. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Oh, Grant is very quick. He's very nimble.
If we have a 0, because people are saying, oh, you drafted a 0 in the 1st round with Grant, it's like, no, that's not a 0. That's a dude who has the whole kitchen caboodle when it comes to getting to the quarterback too. So it sounds like Phillips is really just a 0, and he's not a guy that's going to be running down running backs for us. It's a guy that's going to plug holes and be immovable. Mm-hmm. And we don't have that. Benito wishes he was that. He looks like he is.
Yeah, he's just size. That's
so
it.
Whether people think we've reached on a lot of these picks, guess what? They fill really specific needs for this team. You can call it a reach. Yeah. I don't really care. What's the value of filling a really specific need with a great player? Like, is that a reach? Because there might have been like Jody Barron was a better player. I don't know. But when you can fill a specific need with a great player, man, we got the guys we needed. We got tall receivers in the UDFA class. Like, we went for we had a philosophy here, and we nailed it, I think.
Well, here's a question. When's the last time the Miami Dolphins had a draft class where we pulled 2 starters out of the draft?
Well, you could say Tua and Jackson, but I wouldn't call them starters. And Phillips, that'd be 2020.
It's been a while. That's my point, and I do feel like we'll have 2 starters, and we definitely will have 4 contributors total in this draft. I don't see Ollie Gordon and Phillips not contributing right off the bat. I see them both contributing, and I see 2 starters in Savannah and Kenneth Grant. So I have to say, yeah, that would be huge.
Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And don't forget to, if you can get a chance, go to my man, Frozen Fin Fan, Dirk's channel, and subscribe and like over there too. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
Somebody said something about the likes or something. Drop a like. Yeah, Jesus said it. Yeah, he's quick too. Yeah, Phillips is actually, because he's so all muscle. There's so much muscle there. You know, in order to, when you lift heavy weights, there's slow twitch, but there's a lot of fast twitch because it's an explosive move. And so this kid must have very, very high fast twitch muscle fibers. So he's not just a muscle bound fool in any way, shape, or form. Appreciate that, guys. So where are we at next? I got a little lost. Okay.
Someone's asking about yours.
We're gonna get there. We're going in order. We're going in order. We're gonna go to I was thinking Ace comparison. A lot of people for Jordan is Calvin Williams. That's nice. I don't know. That's not. It was Kevin Williams.
He was a lot bigger.
I don't remember him. Yeah, he was taller, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Are you guys on the panel interested in any of the UDFAs we signed?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll get to. I didn't get to the UDFAs. I've been recovering, man. I've been like convalescing. I've been wiped out from the weekend. We'll get to that quick. We're almost there. Jason Marshall Jr., cornerback. I don't know. Dante Trader. I don't know. I'm not really high on either one of these guys. I think Trader could be a special teamer, but Marshall's not a guy I don't know. You guys think any of these guys?
I think those 2 guys are their way to make the team is special teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they can turn into something else, but they're 7th round picks, you know.
Yeah, we're going to stay in the secondary with our UDFAs and those late picks.
Oh, those are 5th round. They're 5th round picks, both those guys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry sweat it. Don't sweat it. But they feel like 7th round picks.
Because it took so damn long for our next pick. But no, Greer did what he did the D-line last year, just spammed it. So hopefully some of these guys work out. I can't watch film or anything, guys. I go to YouTube and I watch one of these undrafted free agents, like one of the safeties, and I'm like, Jesus, this guy's amazing. And then I go watch another undrafted tight end, that Conyers kid. It's like, holy shit, this guy's amazing. So I just think everyone's amazing, I think. So it's probably hard for me to kind of figure out if UDFA is actually good or not, because they look good when they're playing, you know? It's hard
we don't have a 40 on Phillips. He didn't do the 40, so we don't know the 10 split, but he had a 31 vertical, which is pretty darn good. And he had a 9-foot broad jump, which is pretty darn good. It was 29 bench press on the reps. So the vertical and the 3 cone was 819. I'm not sure how good that was ranked, but the broad jump and the vertical is pretty darn good for a 320-pound guy. That's usually a sign of explosion. I don't think the guy's going to have a great 40. I think he's going to be like 5 to 10 yards. That's maybe where you get it. You know, I'm concerned about Grant's bench press. 330, 22 reps. What?
I thought he was at 29.
No.
Yeah, it was 29. It was 220, 29. I think he's saying 330, 22 reps. That's really odd. To knock him is his plays is inconsistent. If that's true, his overall strength would explain why he's inconsistent. Oh, Grant's. It was 220, 22 reps. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was hallucinating over there for a second again. Sorry, I'm a little tired. He does. He needs a little bit more strength. I think his lower body's strong, but I'm not so sure about his upper body. Him and 7A have both got knocks on them for their upper bodies, but that's the easy. It's easier to build your upper body than your lower body, and both them have strong lower bodies. Although Grant is stronger than 7A is. So, yeah, it might – and they're young too. 21 is hard. Like I walked on, I was 23, and I was with 19-year-olds, and I was just way stronger than them. And so there is a difference. There's a time period of where the body matures. All these – remember, Jackson was 20 years old. That's the same age as Phillips, which is not far off the 21. These are kids, physical kids. They're not going to really start hitting their prime to about 24. So, and look at Wilkins. He came in, he was a little bit older and still took him some time. So there's going to be a growth, but the upper body is the easier to build. If a guy's got a good upper body and a bad lower body, your legs just won't. Your legs are your legs at this stage, unless you're like on a bodybuilding routine. But usually, you can see the genetic makeup. The upper body, you can work on that. So I think I'm not too concerned yet, but I would definitely think that is a bit of why there was a little inconsistency, because he loves the swim move, and when that thing was taken care of, he had a little bit of problems. He got a little frustrated. So he's going to have to develop a little bit, but we have to understand this to 2027 is the year that we need to really consider. Yeah. The fact that he ran a 5.17 at 330 is insane. It's insane. Anybody else want to talk about those two picks, Trader? Ollie Gordon, I'm sure a lot of people want to talk about Gordon.
I just like his attitude. I just like the way he talks. I like the fact that he just loves to block, which is not something that most people, in a skill position like to do. I like that whole attitude.
Means he likes to be physical too.
He's huge.
Yeah. That's what we need on our team, is just people that want to be physical. So from an attitude perspective, it's a good pick.
Yep.
Just as an example, Cody, what was Campbell's bench in the draft?
Oh, it was like 16 or 18. It was something ridiculous.
So Calais Campbell had a 16 bench or 18 bench. And yeah, I agree. That was my initial reaction. Ask Cody. I was like totally into him. Like 22 bench, forget about that, but he's not. You got to remember, a lot of that's going to play in when you're playing zero, but he's not playing zero. He's going to be playing 2, 3, and 4 technique. And so we've got to understand that despite his size, he's not a nose tackle. I mean, if he gets strong, but I just don't think he's going to ever get the Vita Vea, the Wilfork. He's not going to get that strong. So he's going to be that, your typical 4-3 nose tackle or 3-4 end. That's why you got Phillips, and that's why you got Benito Jones. Even, Seal is stronger than he is body wise, but I do agree it's a problem, but there is time to develop it. But this kid's going to be, his main thing is his size and then his agility. If you can add strength to it, then that's going to increase his portfolio. But I agree. I mean, I said the same thing. I was 185 in college and I did it 16 times. And he's almost double my weight, and he's doing it only like 6 more reps. So I agree that there's that. But when you watch his game and his age, I think that he could easily work it to get to the 26, 27 range in a couple of years. He's never going to be a power guy. He's never going to be a guy that just like is powerful. He's not going to be Nagata. He's more maneuverable than Nagata is. But Nagata was just a rare. I mean, that guy was pure power. Yeah, that guy's totally different kind of. And that's, I think, the problem I had with him is I immediately pegged him as a nose tackle. And when I saw 22 reps, but with Jordan Phillips here, and what I've kind of realized afterwards, he's going to be the 2, 3, and 4 technique kind of guy. So, hey, Bahamas. Sharif was supposed to be here. He's over by you, man. Shout out for the Bahamas Ace. What grade you give the draft, brother? I always appreciate you, honestly. Thank you, man. I'd say B. And the escalator is going to be Savanea and Phillips and Grant, and mostly on Savanea. That's going to be the escalator, downwards or upwards. So I would say it's solid. It's B. If you had sat and picked Savanea up at your 48 or a minor trade up, I would give it a little bit higher. But for everything involved, it's a B, and I got to wait to see how he plays out. I think Grant's going to be good. If he's great, and then 7A is great, then all of a sudden it changes. And then if Phillips is a solid player, I mean, this could be a very good draft, but we got to wait and see. If Phillips doesn't pan out and 7A is like okay and Grant's good, then that's what it is. It's a B, So I think we just got to wait to see. Grant was bored. Yeah, maybe. You don't know. I don't know.
To piggyback off of what Dirk said, he was talking about Ollie Gordon and his attitude. I really think Wright is another dude like that. I think those two guys are dogs. and I think they're going to feed off each other, and I'd love to get him a lot of carries. And Farrell Brown said the exact same thing. Like, I don't care if I catch one pass this year. I want to be the best blocking tight end in the NFL. Like, man, the Dolphins are getting me pumped up again. I'm kind of pissed at them for it. You know what I mean? They're reeling me back in. I was out.
It's okay. You should. I reset my evaluations everywhere, every season. So you just got to. I think the biggest downside is that we know Greer's not going anywhere. And the question is he just here for the internal? And unfortunately, with the Ramsey comment on McDaniel, it looks like McDaniel and Tua are being set up to be the first ones to fall. And it could mean, because even like what Greer said, he said, when he came here, he has a way of doing things, but now he's doing more like us. So it seems like Greer is setting himself up for another rerun, and he's not going anywhere. I think that's the only downside. Overall, I think the draft is good. I think it should be a happy time. Hey, my brothers, and Jay. Hey, but what's going on there, brother? How you doing? Miss you, man. Be well. Anyone else want to talk about Gordon? So I'm starting to get weary here. I'll get through this so we get to the UDFAs. Anybody else want to say something about? For me, Gordon, he's 4.69 40. He has a low end split. He's not agile. The yards before contact will determine if he's wasted, like the Ballage and the Brooks. So he had a terrible, not terrible, but he had a poor season for he did in 23 comparison last year, because the offensive line didn't produce for him. And the knock on him was, and one of the reasons why I was concerned was because he got down. He didn't give as much. He started becoming like a little bit of a problem, being a complainer and stuff because the blocking wasn't there. Will the blocking be there this season? We'll see. And he likes a lot of reps to get in rhythm. So I don't know if he's going to get that. So it's whatever. It's a 6th round pick, but it's all going to become about the, what are your thoughts on the last comment about Marshall? I didn't see him. I was like, where was that? Marshall. Oh yeah. Ace, I think the reason why you didn't like Jason Marshall pick is because his tape was boring outside of Miami. He was one of the best corners SEC had and the lowest target rate in the conference. Well, there you go. I didn't study him. But from what everybody was saying, I kind of went off that. So that's good information. So maybe he's surprises. We'll see. I mean, we run a lot of zones, so he doesn't have to be a superstar. So maybe you could find some roles for him. Good point, Anthony. Thank you. Quinn, I hope. We'll get to him now. What do you guys think about Quinn Evers?
No clue.
Anybody want to go first?
No comment.
He's not Polynesian, and the others are, believe it or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, we want, for me, it's like we wanted to draft quarterbacks. We should be drafting quarterbacks. Every year we should be drafting quarterbacks. You can't find a good quarterback or a diamond in the rough unless you draft him. So I'm sure they were saying the same stuff about Purdy not being good. Chances of being Purdy is very rare. We'll see. This is their chance. They've got, McDaniel's got and Smith. They've got Wilson and now Ewers. So we'll see if they're anything. But the chances are that you're going to
Mike White and Skylar Thompson. Hell no.
Yeah.
The room's improved, whether it's a great room or not. It's improved.
Yeah, he's definitely an improvement over.
Well, it says here you play with a torn oblique at 23. You stained during the Michigan game. Action time, you seem pretty good. We'll see.
I can tell you what I do like. We can't speak for how he's going to play in the NFL once again, but I can speak for the fact that I do like his leadership skills. I like the fact that he is very commanding in the huddle. I like that he's vocal about when he's trying to get players and get them motivated. He's very motivational. I like seeing that. Beyond that, who knows? I mean, 7th round pick.
Yeah,
that's it. We got to see how it plays out. Now, there's that Zeke Biggers. Al from 3 yards per carry is very high on him. He's like 6'5", long wingspan, big guy. I like the fact that, you might end up being a practice squad guy. I love the name. You got competition in the interior. You need it. Hey, you never know. Zeke Biggers. I don't think you get better than that, man, except for Storm Duck. So
that's what I was going to say. He's our Storm Duck for this year. the name we like.
yeah.
Connor Tanner. We get rid
Oh, man, thank God. I'm going to miss that, dog. I'm going to miss forgetting that guy's name. Not a fan of Quinn. We needed a thicker QB who's tall. Yeah, but they're just trying to recopy and paste the same kind of players. Although Wilson doesn't fit that bill. He's totally outside that. So, I mean, I don't know.
They did a 180 on receivers, though. They really did a 180 on this draft of what we were going. We had Braxton Berrios, Tyreek Hill, small Jalen Waddle. We didn't have Taj Washington, Malik. Well, none of those guys are big. And they did on the body type in free agency and in the draft.
Well, you guys can go over to UDFAs now because I'm not really prefaced on that. I was still in, like I said, convalescence. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up and start digging into it.
I saw size as a couple wide receivers that were just really big. 6'4", 6'5", 205, 220.
I like that.
Monterey Baldwin and Theo Reese and Andrew Armstrong, all three of them. They're huge.
Well, remember a couple of years ago, we found what's-his-face. The guy was really good until he got injured.
Preston.
Yeah.
I saw the guy. I thought this is Preston Williams with juice. He was like 205. Preston was like 220. Preston was thick. But this guy looked like Preston, but with almost like a thicker CeeDee Lamb. That's why you can't trust my evaluation because I watch these guys and go, that looks like CeeDee Lamb. So you can't trust my evaluation, guys. You got to do your own.
Any other tidbits on the UDFAs? Gruden's great. I love Gruden's show. I watch it all the time.
There's a couple guards that we grabbed in undrafted free agency that I'm excited about too. Good possibilities. Josh Parib from Michigan and guard. And Addison West from Western Michigan, another guard. There were a couple guys to watch. Real big, good feet. Beyond that, I don't really know too much yet. But
yeah, we should have got Big Lebowski. We should have got Mason.
I think it's Watson. I think his name's Desmond Watson.
Oh, Watson. Yeah, I was watching something on him today.
I asked Simon Clancy. Simon Clancy responded to me a couple times.
Nice.
About Watson. He said he's just too fat. You shouldn't be drafted. That's what he said. And I said, okay, the dream's dead.
Well, look, I'm looking forward to seeing. Imagine this kid pans out. What a monster. I wish he was a little bit shorter.
He's lining up next to Vita Vea at some point. That'd be insane.
You don't like Gruden's show? I like it. I say I learn a lot from that show. Yeah, I like it. I mean,
I like it.
His quarterback talk, sometimes he does like the BSing. But when you watch like the matchups, I love the team matchups for the season and stuff like that. But his quarterback thing was always kind of like that. So any other guys? So the guards you like and the receivers, I'm going to check them out.
And the tight end.
There's a tight end too. Jalen Conyers, I think is his name. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to check them out tomorrow. A
new spelling of Jalen, which we desperately needed.
I mean, with a Jalen team?
I wanted to do the research for you, and I think 5 or 6 Jalens, all different spellings maybe. Somebody look into that.
How many ways do you break Jalen?
Phillips, Ramsey, Conyers.
I mean, so overall in the end, I think this draft was a good draft. I think, I just think that fans, no matter what, from the doom side and then the hopium side, they just need to kind of be more realistic because this is all we do every year. It's the same thing. We're doomed. We're great. We're doomed. We're great. And we're always the same thing somewhere in the middle. And it's almost, it's like a drug addict. And every year you'd see that you got to be totally fixated on the doom or you got to be totally fixated on it's like we're on our way. Look, we made a nice first step. It was a pretty good draft. It could be very good. It could be a little bit less. We got to wait and see. We've got to string together a couple of drafts. We got to see how the season plays. There's so much that goes into it. We're just on the first step, but we should be happy that our idiot box GM finally made a wise decision philosophically, and I broke it down. There was a I forgot what his name is. He's the famous draft guru who's on Kuiper all the time, and he broke down. Yeah, they broke down like all the teams, the top teams, how they draft, and they draft quarterbacks every year. They build the trenches. They continually to build the trenches on both sides of the ball, and then they start fleshing out the defense and skills. And so if you follow the models of all these top teams, I don't know what the actual acumen of the picks are, but this follows in the proper philosophical vein. You're going to have to do as good, or if not better, next year. And then you're going to have to do as good, if not better, the year after. You got to string 3 very good drafts, because a lot of the guys, Ramsey's leaving. Sealer's going to be gone probably, or getting close to not being what he is, now in 27. So you got to keep filling this stuff out. I mean, is Tua going to be here? We don't know. Hill's going to be gone. So you've got to get 3 very good drafts. This was a good first step. Let's see how good, and see if there's any drag from some guys that don't perform what they're supposed to. You never know. Yeah, it's not always the doom. That's right, doom and gloom.
Hey, we got another 3rd round for 2026 as well.
Yeah, and some comp picks. We're loading up on the rebuild here, guys.
Yep. I mean, look at it. You go back and you look at what the Eagles did. Eagles had another stellar draft. It's ridiculous what they've done. That team is going to be so loaded. And that's that's unfortunately the level of competency and acumen that we need to get to with our GM and the way we build this team. We're not there. They're the best of the best. And if you dial it down a little bit, a few other teams below that, we're not in that category yet, but we're not in the crap category, at least after this draft. So let's enjoy it. Let's see how it plays out. Let's get through the season, see if McDaniel stays, see if we overachieve, underachieve. We're somewhere in the middle, and then get to the next one. If we get 2 really good drafts together, then we can start saying maybe Greer's learned and get uber excited. But I just don't think he could go on the doom rant or anything. Just kind of stay in the middle and enjoy the moment. String it out until week 1. Let's see, I mean, there's plenty of time to enjoy. So that's the whole deal I got. You guys have any parting notes?
Remember, everybody, make sure to give a like to Ace Per Head's channel here. Give Curtis a like. Make sure to subscribe as well if you're new to the channel.
Yeah, there you go. Subscribes and the likes, that keeps me in the biz. I'm still 50-50 whether I'll be back or not, depending if they're happy. I guess we'll see. They wanted 10K, but I'm not close to it. But maybe I can kind of get something out of it.
We're going to get there. We'll
get there. We'll work on it. Last comment, Anthony, Ace, have you guys been able to look at what teams are treating young corners that are not able to start on the teams because of them having Pro Bowl and all Pro corner start? No, not yet. There's got to be guys that are going to shake free. But the reality is offensive linemen, cornerbacks, they don't really shake free that much. You need lots of offensive linemen. You need lots of cornerbacks. Sometimes you get some defensive guys to shake free on the back end, but they're usually older. It's hard to find guys because you just need such deep rosters, especially with the 17th game. So I think our best bet is to look for like veterans. We've got enough young guys. We need some veterans, especially when we lose Ramsey. But there could be. I'm not saying they can't. We got to wait and see. Anything can happen. Who thought you'd ever find Zach Sealer?
Yeah.
So anyway, Abel fins up. Lebowski, thanks, brother. Everybody take care. Cody, Curtis, Joe, and Dirk saying go Fins. All of us out. That guys, I appreciate everything for showing up. Be well. See you soon.